Hello, and welcome to Queer Abbey, a weekly chat show that is performed, recorded, and produced by yours truly. Hello. Wilson is very sick, so this week, David Attenborough is going to be standing in. I have been fucking very sick this week. Today I feel a little bit better. In case you didn't realize, this is actually Wilson and not David Attenborough. I had tonsillitis this week. Isn't that gay? Yeah. Well, actually, it's not. It's like the opposite of gay because my tonsils swolled up, and I couldn't even suck a dick if I tried. The universe said, close the gates, put the dam up, you're done. And I was in a lot of pain too. I mean, I had I had strep throat as a kid. I don't know that I've ever had tonsillitis before. Yeah, I got like chills and this pounding headache and all this pressure in my neck. I won't go on and on about it, but anyway, I thought I was gonna die for just a little bit yesterday, but I felt better halfway through today, so we're getting it done. We're recording the podcast for you girlinas. I gargled so much salt water. That's like the only thing I know to do that helps with that sort of tonsil infection. If you're ever sick with some sort of like upper respiratory thing that's got you all mucusy or phlegmy, salt water is a really good and gentle way that's to like clean out your throat and your tonsils and your sinuses without being too abrasive. Just so you know, that was really helpful for me. Otherwise, I just took like 1,000 milligrams of THC. I'm not gonna lie, like several hundred milligrams of THC edibles and just sedated myself to sleep. I'm still coming off of that dreamy feeling of sleeping all day. Today, I got some cleaning done as I was starting to feel better. That felt like a compounding sense of just like things getting better after being so down. I got rid of a bunch of my clothes, which feels kind of nice, as I lean into more, I don't know, like womanly silhouettes. I've been wearing some dresses and things like that. I have found some of my older clothing a little bit more obsolete. Like, would I want to wear that? No. And so that was fun to parse through my stuff and see how my perception of my clothes has changed. It's really not vastly different. I think I've always had a really, not to be annoying, but like eclectic eye for clothing. I've trolled thrift stores for my entire life, and I always grab like weird grandma clothes, but they like come into style in 2 years, and then I find it in my closet and I'm like, oh yeah, this is perfect actually. I just have a penchant for doing that. A lot of my clothing I've owned for a long time. Many of the jackets and pants that I've had since like just right after high school actually, because there was a period of time where I was a lot more free to like shop for clothes and stuff. Before I started college, when I was living on my own in Idaho, I was kind of a little hellion, and I did a lot of collecting of stuff. Yeah, it's a fun period of my life, kind of. I eventually got so broke and sad that I had to move back in with my parents. But that's how it is when you're 20. Now I'm 24, and I live by myself again. But I'm slightly less broken. Actually not as sad, which is, I'm happy to say. I have a new therapist. I had the same therapist for 2 years. I'm getting very personal sharing all my details here. Therapy and my health, but oh well. That's what you came for, isn't it? Yeah, I had the same therapist for 2 years, and I switched over to a new person, and that has been an interesting process too. I had a really great relationship with my previous therapist, but they moved on to do, what is it called? Rehabilitative services, like addiction recovery stuff. Yeah, and that's really important, and they seemed excited to be going into that field of work. So I am very happy for them, and my new therapist is this very cool lady. So anyway, Yay. Did you know that you can just totally go through different therapists until you find one that works well for you? It's really important to not feel like you're trying to like change yourself for your therapist. You gotta find somebody who you're just gonna be comfortable talking to, because there are factors that are out of your control that like you may not be able to open up to a certain type of person, because like you're there to talk about your damn trauma, and it's probably this trauma that causes you to not be able to open up to that type of person. You know what I'm getting at? So I would have a hard time being honest with my really internal thoughts of being like trans and of my really insecure thoughts with a straight man, probably. And I had to make that clear when searching for a therapist. And it's not about being disclusive. It's just that like I really would struggle to communicate those things to somebody who has that degree of separation from my perspective. Right? Interesting. Not that I think that a straight man could not benefit me, like with their knowledge of psychology. I'm sure that there are plenty of great male psychologists out there, but yeah, I've had the good fortune of, oh my god, yeah, all of my doctors now are women. I have a woman primary care doctor, a woman hormone doctor, what is that called, an endocrinologist, and a woman psychologist. Whoop whoop. Yay for me for getting my medical care together as an adult. The years between 18 and 24 for me were just kind of like scrambling to figure out how all of that works, because I'm just like not familiar with having a primary care doctor, or there are things that I still haven't really gotten covered. And you know, I and most of my listeners live in America, so we all know what it's like to just ignore the fact that your vision's kind of blurry, or just tucking the fact that you need to go to the dentist in the back of your mind because you already know that there's probably something wrong and you don't even want to think about how much it costs to fix it. It's not sad, but it benefits us to be proactive, even if there are factors out of our control. You gotta go to the dentist. You gotta go to a primary care doctor. You should be getting STD tests and doing things that make you feel healthy and like your body is strong and it feels good. Yeah! I say that as I'm like fucking dying from tonsillitis. A friend of mine told me the other day that in Australia they say, "How are you going?" instead of saying like, "How's it going?" They say, "How are you going?" How are you going? Oh, I'm doing good. How are you? I love the way that Australian people sound. So silly. You know, you've got to try it. I've been really enjoying this Kit Von J eyeliner. It's so good. The application is so nice. I find it goes on so smooth. So good. It's very black. So black. Although don't put on too much because you'll find yourself looking like a koala. Okay, I'll tuck that away for now. I have like a little Australian person that lives inside me, and anytime I talk to an Australian person at work, I have to suppress the urge to talk back to them with this like shitty Australian accent. It's hard living this dual life, you know? Riding the bus is really cunty. Did you know that? It is almost as cunty as having square-tipped nails. And I'll have you know that I do both of those things, mama. Riding the bus is cunty for several reasons. It's cunty because it's good for the environment. It's cunty because when you're waiting at the bus stop, you look like the main character. Sometimes you do get attacked by crackheads, and sometimes you are physically in danger, but who cares? Everybody sees your outfit. You look very stunning. You look very cool. standing by the TriMet sign. Everybody driving by knows that you are the main character. So this is really the important thing here. And then you get to say hello to the person who drives the bus, because they're doing a very important job. So that's another cool, but that's like 5 reasons right there. And then when you're riding the bus, there's other people. So guess what? That's more people seeing your fucking outfit. Bam. And also, it's cheap. You'll save money because it costs like $2 or something, or like $1.25 if you're old. And then you just go beep beep and you pay that. And then if you do it twice in a day, then you don't have to pay any more for that day. It's called a day pass. So maximum it costs like $3 or something, or $4 or $5. I don't know. It depends on you, babe. But like, it doesn't cost that much money for a whole day. And then you can ride the bus all around. I can get from Portland out to Beaverton, down south to Tigard. There's limitations to it, and of course, it's a little bit more difficult for things like grocery shopping. I will tell you, that is a bitch. I have to be creative. I'm kind of limited to the nearby grocery stores, and I just like lug everything like a psychopath, like a giant hermit crab of groceries on the bus. But it's cunty. It's very cunty of me. My little pink square tip nails and we go to the grocery store. Very demure. Well, more on the bus later. It's time to get into a little bit of advice. No, not the boar worms. No, please, not the boar worms. Not the boar worms. It's just a random reference to a podcast that I was watching this week. Shout out to the Bald and the Beautiful. Trixie Mattel and Katya Zamolodchikova. They had on a guest called T.S. Madison this week, and she was, I guess this is a quote of a quote, because she's quoting Flash Gordon, but she kept saying, not the boar worms, just like over and over again in the most ridiculous voice. Okay, it probably makes very little sense to the outside perspective. However, it's funny, okay? You can say it too. Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Not the boar worms. Okay, let's get into this advice time. Our first submission this week is, they all are, anonymous, and they said, Queer Abbey. What am I supposed to do if I am faced with boar worms? Oh, wait, that's not what it says. It actually says, Queer Abbey. Need advice. Why do people suck so much at communicating? I just got back from dinner with my classmates, but before dinner, I texted my class group chat to see if anyone could pick me up and drive me to where we're having. There's only like 11 of us in the group, lol, and no one replied. This is seizure level of grammar. I'm sorry, person who submitted this, but wow, it's hard to read. Like, I understand if you're busy, but a simple sorry I can't or sorry I'm going with this person would be sufficient. Okay, so that does suck. That's so funny because I didn't even think about the bus context going into this advice segment, but maybe you should learn how to ride the bus. I don't know what your capability is in that regard, if it's safe for you to do that, if you're physically able to get yourself to a bus stop, but yeah, maybe you could be less reliant on other people. That seems harsh to say. I mean that with kindness. But you're more independent than you give yourself credit for, right? I used to not think it was possible for me to ride the bus, which sounds stupid, but I mean, it's just something I just didn't really know how to do. But you can use Google Maps to just route yourself there and slide over to the little bus option. It'll tell you which bus stop to walk to and when the bus is coming. You download the app if you want to, or I think you can just hold your debit card up to the little thing on the bus. Like, you don't need to be a member or anything. Like, these were all the things that I was afraid of that prevented me from getting on the bus. Like, oh, what if I look stupid? What if it's not for me and I'm not supposed to be there? I needed to like sign up, and then I just looked like an idiot, and then going on a little bit of a tangent for you, but anyway, there are other options. So let's assume that you did really need a ride because it's like far away or something like that. It happens. Maybe communicating further in advance would be another way to secure a ride without it being so like short notice and then in turn disappointing, because it is important to plan ahead in those kinds of contexts. Not to say it is really shitty of people to ignore your needs like that. I don't know how much time ahead you gave either, because you could have said it the day before and nobody replied. In that case, then everybody in the group chat's a bitch and you should just not talk to them. It sounds like somebody drove you though, because let's see, just got back from dinner. You just said before the dinner I texted my class group chat. No context given. So I'm assuming that you worked it out with at least one person and you're just angry at the lack of response. So I don't know, maybe you're self-centered. Sounds like you might be a little self-centered. With love. Next one. The next submission is another anonymous user that said, Queer Abbey, I have acne-prone skin. Is LA Girl Matte a good foundation for me? I've tried the e.l.f. CC cream, but want something more full coverage. Well, I have not used either of those products. I'm familiar with both of the brands. e.l.f. and LA Girl are both like more affordable, brands. e.l.f. makes like emulations of all sorts of other products. They're usually very they lack pigment, but sometimes e.l.f. products are weirdly good, especially like their little tools and stuff. Like, it never hurts to get a little like cheap eyelash curler or like an e.l.f. brush or their sponges or something, because there's not a huge tangible difference in quality between an e.l.f. eyelash curler and a Givenchy eyelash curler. There's no difference, really. They're doing the same thing. So let's see. For acne-prone skin, your skin's acne-prone, darling, because you've got too much oil, too much sebaceous oil activity going on your skin. And it's sitting there, all right, and it's getting into your pores and causing some inflammation in each of those individual pores. So what you need to do for acne-prone skin, for the health of your skin, you need to remove the makeup before you go to sleep. That's really important. You can use products that increase your skin cell turnover. That's another good approach. I'm not a dermatologist by any means, but I think that there's things like HA acids and other things like that help your skin cells turn over real quick. So I'll try something like that. So actual foundation recommendation. Jesus, bitch. I really like Maybelline Fit Me foundation and concealer. I've been using both of them forever, since I was like 15. They just have cute little containers, and so that's why I bought them. And they just happen to work great, so I've just kept using them forever. I've tried other things as well, but yeah, I like Maybelline Fit Me. It's really good. They have a decent shade selection. I don't know what color your skin is, but I think that they're fairly inclusive. It sucks that that's not just a given, right? But so if you have really, really rich skin, you may need to find an alternate product. I think Revlon, what is it, Color Stay or something? That's a couple more dollars, but it's also like another affordable, pretty good foundation. The reason that I like them is because I'm able to blend them like really thoroughly without them like breaking up or getting that scaly, shitty texture that can happen with some concealers and foundations that have like a powdery quality to them, and it's really bad for when you're trying to blend something over acne. If you're trying to cover acne, you could use like a color correcting approach if you have a lot of redness, like if it's really irritated skin. Using soothing products underneath the foundation can also help with that. And then a cream concealer can be really magical for concealing things because the cream is going to like not take on the exact shape of the stuff that's underneath it. Cream concealer can like fill in all the little nooks and crannies that exist within the skin. So those are really great for that. And also they kind of like have more solidity than liquid foundation. So you can like conceal your big pimple and then you can put a lighter layer of foundation over it to blend it in with the rest of your skin, and even like a little touch of blush. I know that seems counterintuitive, but like in the area just to like make sure that there's not too much of a greenish or yellowish cast over your skin, assuming that your skin is looking like mine. Maybe it's more of like an orange kind of cast or something funny like that. But yeah. Maybelline Fit Me, she fucks. If you're rich, I don't know, I'm sure that more expensive foundation's even better. So use that. When I don't want to wear a lot of foundation, I use Maybelline, or no, what is it called? Is it also Maybelline? Damn. It's some sort of BB cream. It's also just drugstore shit. I think it is Maybelline. No, it's CoverGirl. That's what it is. It's come back to me. And it's the same idea. I don't struggle a ton with acne, but I am a man and I do like the appearance of having smooth skin on my face. And so covering my stubble, I usually use like a solid layer of concealer. And if it's like for a high definition picture, I'll use a cream concealer in areas that I want to conceal that kind of texture. But just like on the area that I'm trying to conceal, really, not like all over the place, because the downside of cream makeup is that it is so solid and so thick that it truly looks cakey if you put it all over the place. So limiting it to the area where I have like these rough hair follicles is important. And then powdering it is also important because cream makeup has like an oily base to it, so you need to add the powder to seal it. Otherwise it will just continue to be emollient and move around. Getting into fucking makeup science, babe. Anyway, yep, those foundations I like. You should use them, they're great. Bam. The last caller today, they said, Queer Abbey, is it okay to be boring, in quotes? I just started college and everyone around me is already doing fun shit. Parties, concerts, etc. And I just am not. Like, I'm not even having FOMO. I'm just kind of by myself a lot and I'm lonely. But I'm now concrete that maybe this is a me thing and I should suck it up and have fun like everyone else. Well, I think that that's perfectly fine. I don't know how old you are. You said you just started college, so it's safe to assume that you're probably like 19 years old. And if that's the case, then bitch, you're still in the throes of puberty. Your brain is not your friend all the time when it comes to understanding how other people feel about you, right? You're not missing out on much. You don't need to be fantasizing about going to the bar because it's not very fun. What you should do is spend time with your friends, like you're getting at. I think that we spend a lot of energy on our life that we live on the internet nowadays. We spend a lot of energy on personal things like school and work, right? But it can really appear like other people have it all together, even if they don't. And then we are left just in this spiral of like, well, okay, well, why am I not blank, 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 blank? And Oh, that sounds really cliche, but it's true. Yeah, and especially at that age, right after high school, starting college, it's natural to be comparing yourself to other people, and you just don't need to worry about being fun. Being fun to other people is not what makes you a happy person in the long run, right? It can be validating in a very short-term sense to be clownish and to give people like what they want from you. It sounds kind of conspiratorial, but like you don't need to drink the most or do the most drugs to be fun to be around, you know? Yeah. Maybe join a club or something like that. Could be really cool. Yeah, focus on making friends, but you're not weird for spending time alone. Or maybe even find a solo hobby. I mean, I've been spending a lot of time alone this summer, and I like it. Get yourself to sit down and draw, right? Something like that doesn't require too much. You can have, if you can have a pen and paper, that's something that you could work on and form a relationship with yourself that way. That can be really, really fulfilling sometimes. Okay. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our advice segment this week. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who submitted for advice this week. As always, if you would like to be featured on the podcast, you are welcome to follow the link that is right there in the description to submit anonymously. There's a Google form there. You just click on it. It'll come up. You can put your little question in. Or if you want, you can email us too at queerabbey@gmail.com. That's QUEERABBEY @gmail.com, not the boreworms. Or we also have a phone number. It's 503-567-2053. Goodbye. So I'm just like stimming today. So yeah, anyway, if you want your music featured, if you want advice, you're welcome to contact me in any one of those ways. I finally got a few emails, which was validating for me. That email inbox has been really dry. Everybody is so shy. They want to do it anonymous. But I understand. I get you. So, I am very, very excited about the musical spotlight that I have coming up for you in just a moment. It's going to be a juicy one, let me tell you. So many of you may not know, but I grew up in North Idaho, and I have a very expansive social network. So the way that I know this artist is through my sister's friend. This is their brother. It's somebody who I've interacted with in my life, and I would say that we're friends, right? But it's so funny how that works, that the little root network of life. Like, I know this person through two other people, but I admire them. Their name is Noah Garrett, and they recently came out with an EP called Love and Mind, and I caught wind of it, and I wanted to feature it on the podcast because it bucks. It's this very introspective album. As far as I know, they may have had help with the production, but I think that they like wrote it and produced it and everything. It's really cool. It has this kind of ominous vibe to it, and the song that I picked to show y'all is called Strange Weather. There's a lot of these like dissonant vocal harmonies that they're really densely layered, and it's kind of an intense song, but also very beautiful. There's this really cool breakdown in the middle of it, this synthy 80s like breakdown bridge. Enough with it. Let's just get right into it. The musical spotlight this week is going to be Strange Weather by Noah Garrett from the EP Love and Mind.
thunderclap and heavy sigh. I can't get you off my mind. It's not the way I thought that this would go. And the TV says the storms arrive. We raid a Walgreens, stay inside and lean in for a kiss, but take it slow. It's strange weather. We're in for strange weather. Driving to the countryside, hoping that nobody's died. We're making out amidst torrential rain.
That melody is so good. It's very, very catchy. Simple yet effective. And then the poetry in the lyrics is also very, very captivating. So, as always, this feature is going to be linked also just right above the anonymous submission link. It's going to be right there for you. So go listen to this entire EP. I know Noah worked very hard on it, and yeah, it has this very cool sound. I picked Strange Weather because of the two things I just said. The really cool poetry, and also just it's really catchy. This is a really cool vibe. But there's some different sounds on this EP, so go give it a listen. I think isn't that what an EP is? It means there's 5 songs, I think. I don't actually know. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, but for the masses, an EP is a collection of 5 songs that used to like pitch to do like an entire album, I think, at least. There's a whole rhyme and a reason behind that, but go give this EP a listen. Noah Garrett, really nice person, and I look forward to more music from them. Yay! Strange Weather. Well, that is going to cap off our episode for the evening. I really appreciate everybody for listening through. I hope that you are enjoying. Your continued support is just much appreciated. It makes it worthwhile to sit down and do these podcasts, because I know that the kids are listening, you know? So thank you so much. I'm so flattered. Thank you. See you next Sunday. The boreworms? Not the boreworms.